Small businesses here on Yonge Street and elsewhere in the city have been seething for months, claiming that the city is trying to drive them out of business with massive property tax increases. Well, today, the mayor is listening and pushing for some major changes.
One of the things that I've certainly heard loud and clear from people on Yonge Street, people on King Street and elsewhere, is that the rising assessments, which are the responsibility of the province, reflecting the increase in land value in Toronto and the assumption that just about every place will be a condo, which it won't. But the bottom line is that the rising assessments have pushed up taxes for a lot of small businesses. And the report that's before the Executive Committee this week recommends a 10% cap on the annualized tax increase for these business premises along these different streets. And I strongly support that.
For dozens of small businesses, it is a relief to hear the mayor say this. The signs are plastered in their windows, slamming the mayor for the massive and sudden property tax hikes they are facing. Some owners have already given up, their storefronts now empty. After the properties were reassessed by the province last year, their values skyrocketed. That's because the assessments, which are done every 4 years, are based on best use. In other words, they're valued the same as though there were a 40-story condo in its place. So the property taxes also soared. For the 4 years between 2017 and 2020, many small businesses' taxes were expected to go up by a total of 250%.
There would be very few people left on the street
if that
had happened. I mean, the biggest thing for a small business is you cannot have sudden major increases in any of your costs of operations and manage to stay, because the line of survival is very fine.
John Anderson has owned Morningstar on Yonge for 49 years. He believes this is clearly a case of the city trying to push small businesses out. He says there's always been a cap on the tax hikes in the past, regardless of assessments, of no more than 7% or even less. He doesn't understand why the cap was lifted this time, but he's very pleased that the mayor has now seen the light.
Fantastic. Fantastic. The city is listening. A 10% increase is manageable for me.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, no question about it.
David Moon and his family have owned Cosmetic World for 35 years. Like John Anderson, he feels like small business owners are under attack. Many had to pay 50 to 100% more in 2017. And while 10% would certainly be better than 50, David Moon says it's still too much.
Our small business supports 5 families. And every other business supports, I'm sure, 2 or 3 families. What's going to happen to our community? We're being attacked by the government, by property taxes. We're being dinged by the CRA. They're chasing every avenue to squeeze every penny out of, on the federal level, provincial level. Man, we're really feeling it.
Moon says there's no way he could stay in business if taxes were to go up 250%. But even at 10, he will still have to raise prices and cut back on staff hours.
It's a lose, lose, lose in all aspects.
Sanjoy Kindu is also a small business owner here on Yonge Street, Theatrics Plus. So tell me what happened in 2016. You paid $20,000.
That's correct.
And then what happened when you got the reassessment in 2017?
In 2017, I got reassessed. It basically doubled, so I had to pay $40,000. So I paid the $40,000. We fought it. A lot of business owners and myself got together, and basically that got reduced, and I was reimbursed $10,000.
So you still had a 50% increase over the year before. What kind of impact does that have on you?
It's actually been pretty hard. We actually now had to reduce employee costs. We had to reduce business hours. It made me work a lot longer, a lot more, to say. I've put in a lot more hours.
Right.
And am I getting anything out of it? I actually don't even pay myself.
Really? Jeez. Well, let's hope the 10%, if that does go through, that report is going to Executive Committee next week. We'll see what happens.